going on, everybody? You are live with Osiris. Welcome to the Author's Lounge. The world is filled with storytellers, and I, along with my guests, are here today in the Author's Lounge to help educate and inspire the young generation of writers and creators. Now, my guests are professionals in publishing, writers from a wide range of formats, and successful entertainers. They will provide beneficial advice on what to do and what not to do on your path to success. So, without further ado, I'll present to you our next guest. Let's go.
I have waited months, waited all summer for this moment to be able to talk with my next guest. He is a film producer. He is also an artist. He's also the owner of his own film production company called Nightmistful Productions. And he's also, one thing that we have in common, aside from our love for this industry, it's the fact that he was also a member of the armed forces, did his time in the Army, both active duty and reserve. So can't wait to dig into his past and talk about that and look more for some guidance. But without further ado, I present to you the wonderful Mr. Marvin Maddicks Jr. What's going on, good sir?
What's going on, my brother? It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's a true honor, man. I know. So for full context for those who are listening, I reached out to Marvin earlier in the year. I think it was, I may be wrong, but it was around, I think maybe April or May time frame.
Yes.
And his schedule was so packed. Yeah, we weren't able to get anything on the books, but he said, "Hey, reach back out to me in a few months, and we'll make something work." And then schedules happened, and then I ended up having an audition, which I ended up getting the gig for. I ended up having an audition, and I had to, kindly ask, "Hey, can we reschedule?" And it was kind of close to when we were going to do it.
Yeah.
So here we are. So I guess that's show business, though, man. You just never know when your calling is going to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So first thing I gotta ask you, Marvin, is where it all began. So I'll kind of take it back. So granted, I know you're in the military at one point in time, and I know we've spoken about this over the direct messages. But I'm curious to know, right, when it came to creation, right, while you were in the service, were you also engaged in entertainment during your time in the service, or did it come beforehand and then you stopped, and then during the service you kind of did your thing and then you transitioned back into filmmaking?
Well, it actually all started while I was in the service. Actually started around 2006 while I was deployed to Iraq in Al-Assad. I was started to mess around. I was just curious about music. That's how it all started off from. That's where it all stemmed from. And the first software I used for music production was called Sony Acid. I used that for like a month or two. Then, I started to slack off. I kind of got lost interest in it until one of my friends, who's kind of like a tech genius, he makes his own computers and stuff. He said, "Hey, man, they have a software production called Fruity Loops. You might be interested in it." And at that time, it was Fruity Loops version 7. So, he introduced me to it. I installed it on my laptop, and I slowly got interested in it, intrigued with all the sounds, putting together the sounds. And slowly, once I redeployed back to Fort Campbell for my deployment, that's when I started to really mess with the software more on my downtime on the weekends. And slowly, I started to go on YouTube. I started to say, let me try to actually create beats. So what I did is, I use YouTube, I search on YouTube, go to type in Fruity Loops in the search engine, and slowly start to pick up on beat making tutorials from different kind of from all type of producers. And slowly I started to get better and better and better till I was kind of like to say I was a beginner. I wasn't good, but I was right there at the beginning of understanding the structure of putting together a beat, the intro, the hook, you know, the verse, the bridge, and then the intro again. So I slowly started to learn the structure of making a beat. And then soon after that, I started to get better. I created a SoundCloud page around 2011, 12. I created a SoundCloud page and I put my first couple of beats on there, which was let's see, I got one of my beats got picked up from an indie rapper from Chicago. His name was Young Celeb the God, and he used about 4 of my beats. And you know what I'm saying, he put it on his first album, Terminal 85, and everything started to kick off from there. And say around 2013, I was working, but at that same time on YouTube, man, it was like a whole bunch of beat makers flooding YouTube, making all types of beats. So I was like, man, how my beats gonna get heard? All these guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just around that time, just all about beats instrumentals on YouTube. So one time I came across a video by Brian Michael Cox. He's one of the producers that work with Jermaine Dupri. And he put out a little nugget.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he put out a little nugget in that video, like saying that, hey, guys, you know, I know beats are saturated the market. We have all these indie producers flooding the wave, making types beats. But he said there's a other lane open up that people don't really mess with, which is music for video games, movies, TV placements. And that put a spark in my head. I'm like, let me try to see if I can make scores for movies, especially horror movies. Horror movies are my favorite.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
I started making tracks. I picked up on it. I started to become good. On one of my tracks, a guy by the name of Timothy Thomas. He's an indie maker. He made short, indie, low-budget films. He heard one of my songs, one of my soundtrack, and he reached out to me and he said, hey, can I use this in one of my short films? I said, yeah, okay. He made like a low-budget, 5-minute indie kind of 80s era film dealing with the aliens.
Yeah.
And he used my first track, horror track I made was Nightfall. I call it Nightfall. Put that in his film. It came out perfect. I was like, wow.
Oh, man.
And from there on, that pushed me towards more making soundtracks for films. And I slowly diverted from making beats, R&B beats, reggae beats. I still make beats on the side from time to time, but my attention was more focused on making soundtrack for films. And that's how it all started.
Yes, sir.
And from there.
Oh, wow.
And from there, on Facebook, I gotta thank Facebook. That's my bread and butter right there. That's how I really break out on Facebook with connecting with other indie filmmakers, and they spread the word around in their little circle, horror community.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm being booked for little small parts in films, which kicked off.
Yeah.
Which kicked off, and actually my first film I starred in actually kicked off in 2021. That's when I came back from Afghanistan, because I was a contract worker. And when they shut down Afghanistan and everybody had to come back, that year around June, I landed my first small acting role in a film called Arena Wars, which was filmed in Las Vegas by the Mahal brothers. And
oh, nice.
And from then, man, the rest is history.
Yes, sir. Wow. Wow. What a story. Such a it seems like it's filled with not only inspiration because of how you even got started. And I recognize Fruity Loops as well. I started to use Fruity Loops myself early, like I think in 2006 also.
Yeah.
But I geared away from it. You just life happened. But for you, it sounded very much like you once you started to mess around with it, and you and that rapper kind of put you on. Well, not even kind of he put you on his album, and to have 4 downloads, four of your songs featured on that album, and then everything seemed to be a snowball effect.
Yeah.
But what I really love about this story is that you realize that there's so many people coming into the game now, putting their music out, putting their beats out, their instrumentals out on YouTube, and especially at that time, what 2015, I think you said 2015,
Like
right?
2013, 14,
Yeah,
15. Yeah.
yeah, and so I've been using YouTube myself since 2007, and around 2012 to like 2015 time frame, like in that window, there was still there was competition, but nothing like it is right now.
Yeah.
But there was enough that happened in that time frame where you still could make some moves in other areas and still kind of blow up much quicker than it is now. But what I really love about your story, Marvin, is that you saw that this is kind of it's getting a little saturated. I need another way to still pursue this music composer lifestyle, but still be recognized at a high level.
Yes.
And then the window opened up for the entertainment, the movie business, the film industry.
Yes.
And you took it and ran with it. And I've listened to, I've been gracious enough for you to send me some of your tracks, and me also just going through your page and just listening to it. And I also want to congratulate you too. Many of your posts that you share through social media, LinkedIn specifically, see that you are constantly finding work and constantly partnering with somebody, and
Yes.
there's always a collaboration that's going on. And to me, I really love to see that in my news feed from people that I follow that's continuously doing something to propel themselves further along their career.
Yes.
So I just got to congratulate you, man. It's such a beautiful thing to see.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Of course. And I can't believe I didn't mention this in the bio or the intro, that you are also a music composer. And if I did mention it, it doesn't mind that it needs to be repeated again, because your music, what you put into these films, is just so good. You actually, I got to tell you this, and I've been waiting to tell you this. You're actually the reason why I wanted to get back into doing something with music again, with making it through Fruity Loops. And I had reached out to you, and you had told me that, hey, because I was curious, I said, what do you use exactly? And you told me Fruity Loops. You gave me a direct link, and then I told my wife about it, and then my wife surprised me and dropped $200 on the program.
Wow.
For me. Not that 200 is a lot,
Yeah.
but 200 is a lot, but it's not a lot. But the concept of her just dropping it down, paying it for me right after I reached out to you, it's just been a beautiful moment. So it's a lot different than what I remembered it to be, but I'm sure once I get the creative juices flowing again, I can get back in there.
Yeah. That's awesome, brother. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much. But okay, cool. So another thing I wanted to ask you about, aside from you being a music composer, is your producer side. What is your mind? Where does it go when you are thinking about producing a film?
Actually, what it is, because since I love horror, that's my best genre, and that's what I mostly work with. Once they like this, once they send me the film to work on, and what I do is I looked at the scenes, and I kind of picture in my head what sound will go with what's happening in the scene. Because since I've been working with Fruity Loops so long, with the different sounds and the different presets, I could look at a scene, see what's happening, and picture in my head, okay, that synth sound will go with this scene because it's dark. They have another scene that might be happy. Okay, I have some presets that will make some pianos that will make a joyous melody that will go with the scene. So actually, I feed off the scenes of the film, and I put it, work it out in my head. And most of the time, it works out perfect. It fits the scenes perfectly. And also, what I do with my tracks, I make them real simple. There's not much going on, but it could carry the theme because it's so powerful. Like they say, sometimes powerful is less. I don't really have no drums, nothing really playing in the track. It's just that mood sound, synth sound. So basically, most of my tracks are mostly simple. They're not like complicated, like a cinematic track where you have the drums falling in and out. The track is pausing and coming back in. I don't really do that type of tracks. It's just real simple, moodish tracks, dark atmosphere tracks that just one or two instruments will be playing in the track. And that's how I kept it real smooth and simple, and it works out for me every time.
Wow. You know, it's interesting, like in the mind of a composer, of a music composer. You're actually the first music composer or music producer, a musician esque in this field that actually makes music for film that I've had on the show. And ironically enough, it's funny because I wrote it down as a goal of like having somebody like I would love to have a music composer on here because I'm always intrigued by the creativity that goes into creating music for a movie. And long and behold, it was my man here the whole time that was going to be the one to open the gates. It's been,
yeah.
Yes, sir. So when you're looking at a film, right? Like, and I know you kind of just spoke about it, but this thought kind of came to me as you were speaking. Like, if you're watching a horror film yourself, not anyone that you're going to produce, but when you're watching a horror film, in your mind, are you saying to yourself, I have something that I think would have fit better in this, not to discredit the composer of the film, but like when you watch it, do you have ideas of, no, I think I could have done it this way, or no, no, if they gave it to me, I can make it sound even better or more unique in my aspect. Like, what goes through your mind when you're watching or listening to your other contemporaries?
Well, actually, just like you said, I sometimes watch it and I do have critiques in my mind saying that, how can I make something more subtle, more better? But at the same time, listening to their sounds also inspired me, that sparks ideas in my head. So like, we'll be like,
yeah,
that riff or whatever they're playing, that sounds interesting. I could make something close to that I could put in a future film I'm working on. So when I'm watching other horror films and I'm listening to the sounds from other composers, I also critique, but also at the same time I take in and I say, man, they give me inspiration to make certain sounds too. So yeah, sometimes I critique. I say, yeah, sometimes I could make something better, or sometimes it'd be so good I'd be like, man, I wish I could have did something like that. But other than that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I critique the sounds, saying if I'm picturing in my head, I could have made something better. Or yeah, man, they outdid me in this, making this track. And at the same time, I take ideas from the sounds and add it to try to create something similar to it for an upcoming short film or any other film I have to work on in the future. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Man, this is giving me just. Oftentimes, sometimes I get chills when I'm listening to other people and then they share their stories. But this is what I love about the idea, like of speaking to other creatives, especially like keeping the community circle, like just circulating around art, is that in the quote unquote, I say quote unquote because some people may not deem this line of work as a real job, but to me, I think this line of work, in the creative space, it's so real, right? Like just how it makes the person feel, like the artist, whether it's an actual painter or it's figuratively speaking, speaking that this person is just creating their own their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own masterpiece. In this regards, with you with music, and to me, music is absolutely everything. I don't think there's a world without music. I believe music to be universally recognized. I also believe it to be part of every culture. You can go to a culture like, so my wife's side of the family, my wife, she's Mexican, right? And in their side of the family, music can resonate in the same way as it does on my side of the family. Obviously, people see me, they see me that I'm black, but half of my family they're from Haiti, and
Okay.
I'm not from Haiti. I've never lived in Haiti, but my father, he's from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and the way that they celebrate with music is similar to how my wife's family celebrates it, and the same aspect that they can go to Africa somewhere and they have their dances, or you go to the Philippines, or
Mm-hmm.
you go to different countries, and music is like at the core of what they do. In every national anthem, there's music with it. No matter where you go, it's somehow, some way represented in the highest degree. So to me, music is absolutely at the quintessential piece in any type of art. Even in art galleries, there's some sort of music being played in the background, so
Yeah.
it won't just be you sitting there in silence, you know. And so I have a great deal of respect for you, Marvin, and anyone in that line of work who does who does music. Now, question: when it comes to the rights, this part I'm curious on, not just from the standpoint of those who want to be creatives as musicians, but for myself as well. When I create my own work, how do you protect your work without it? I don't know how that works. Like, I know for copyright, for example,
Mm-hmm.
people want to copyright their manuscripts. I know that process, and it's probably the same process. But how? Because music is it's so hard to make music that doesn't sound like something else.
Mm-hmm.
How do you protect your work without the worry of it sounding ironically like something else?
Well, that is difficult for real because it is hard. It's really hard to make something completely unique that don't sound like nothing else. It's really hard. But
Yeah.
most of my beats, especially before I started into making soundtracks and stuff for movies, most of my beats that I created, I to tell you the truth, I have never made no money off of my music. Most of my music, all the music I made before start working in film, making soundtracks, I just pour them out. I made them and I pour them on SoundCloud for people to hear. And then, and I also put the option that they could just download and use it. As long as they give me credit, I just type that in. As long as I get credit, you shout out my name, it's all good. You could use my tracks. So I never had to run into the problem of copyright because I never sold no exclusive or I never leased no music out to anybody. But
I see.
I might never know further down in the future. I might be selling my tracks, and that's when I will probably have to, go through the process of actually protecting my music. But for so far,
Yeah.
yeah, I never had to, I had no issues of my music being copyrighted or anything because
That's good.
yeah, same thing like Young, like the Chicago rapper I told you about, the indie Chicago rapper,
Yeah.
Young Celeb. I told him go for it because he was trying to just make his name heard out there, And I said, I have no problem as long
Yep.
as you give me credits for the beats, you shout me out, which he did. I had no problem with it. So yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I see. And so it sounds like it was more about the notoriety that, hey, look, you know what? I'm gonna give out my work for free, but in exchange of the $0 and 0 cents, I ask that you credit me and
Yeah.
vocalize that this is who it is, and that would and in the long run, that in turn would actually be more beneficial to you, because rather than trying to sell it and not probably getting people to buy into it as much because there's such a variety of it,
Mm-hmm.
um you decided, hey, I'm gonna go about it this route. This is likely in the long run going to pay out. The return on investment is going to be a huge payout because people are going to know who I am
Exactly.
globally. Was that kind of the idea? Okay.
Exactly. Yep. I was playing the long game. And it's the same
Yes,
thing
sir.
right now as I make music for short films, the indie. I told them, hey man,
Hmm.
just credit me. That's all I need. And they come up with praise and gratefulness. And it also blessed me too, because by doing that, boy, they refer me to so many filmmakers be hitting me up on Facebook. Hey, this guy sent me to you. He said you know to make horror music. Or they will say, man, I came across your YouTube channel and I listened to your horror tracks. And can you bless me some tracks for my movies? And I said, sure, just at the end, just give me credit. And that's why when you look at my IMDb, it's so many work credit because I just just give me credit, man, for my work. That's all. And that's
I
it.
love it. I love it. Yeah, it's this right here is it's pure magic, because it's all about betting on yourself. And
Yeah.
some people think that you have to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into programs, into seminars, into tutorial videos through seminars, or you got to go to school. None of this is a knock to anyone who does this, by the way, who does what I'm mentioning. But there are people in the masses who believe that in order to be successful, they have to invest hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, sometimes even in the millions, to really get a buy-in, when really you just have to invest that money. Instead of it investing into others, you can just invest into yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe that investing in others is ultimately an investment in yourself. But if you go and do the work, see, Marvin, and you taught yourself how to do this, right? Did I imply that correct? Like, you taught yourself how to make this based off of going to YouTube and kind of playing around with Fruity Loops early on?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All self-taught. Yep. I did it all myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still got a long way
Yeah.
to go too, because I've still got to learn how to still mix and master my tracks. But for now, they're perfect for the films.
Yeah. And you found something that worked for you as well. You learned too that you don't like the buy-in isn't necessarily a price tag. It's with money attached to it. The buy-in could just be, hey, look, this is me as a person. So now you have, so your brand right now seems to be heavily revolving around horror films, being a music composer for horror films. And like I had mentioned earlier, like when I would go to your LinkedIn and I would see, like, man, this man is on fire. He's on fire. And it's just remarkable. It's remarkable to see. Like, I think I can almost be assured that if I'm having a down day, or if I'm not feeling up, oh man, it's just I'm not feeling it. And let me go just kind of peruse my social circle and just get some inspiration from them. Because not every day people are going to feel motivated, but you will see something every day of somebody doing something. And a lot of those times is you that I look to, and get that indirect guidance of, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, man. Just the big thing is to just keep on striding and don't give up, man. I know, like, even for me, you got some of those days I just get mental block and I just can't create anything. And I'll be like, I just got to come back the next day and work at it. But yeah, the main thing is don't give up, man. Just keep on striding.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And being ready. See, I think in what really helped you in your case too, aside from you having just this tenacity of relentless focus of your work, that when the opportunity presents itself, hey, can you have any extra tracks, rather than saying, no, but I can make some, give me like a day or so. And then that 24 hours does make a difference. Opportunities can disappear like that. But because you have such an expansive catalog that you can, that may or may not have been used, you can just say, oh yeah. Look, what are you looking for? I'm looking for X, Y, Z. Boom.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's 4 of these tracks. Tell me what you think about it. And then, yeah, so like how beneficial has it been for you of just pretty much keeping it all in the chamber at all times? You just have a catalog so expansive that at any point, if anyone calls you up, you have it. How has that played in your favor?
It played real good in my favor, because I had, even before I got picked up for my first film, I had just plenty of experimental tracks I've been working on that I just had it saved in files, and I can always go back to and work on. But for some reason, it was just a matter of blessed be that those tracks was, when they heard the tracks, they said, that's perfect. No work needs to be done. Nothing needs to be added. That's what I'm looking for. So it was just a matter of, to me, most of the time, luck. Just luck. Playing the tracks to my to some of the filmmakers that would just listen to them and like, man, that is perfect. Without no even adjust, I have to go back and adjust anything. Maybe once or twice it happened, but most of the time, I show them a track so they could listen to. No problem.
Yeah,
it's good from the go, and I just send it to them. And sometimes when I don't have any tracks, I would just tell them, hey, look, just give me a couple of days. I'll knock out 4 tracks for you. Give me like 4 to 5 days. I'll knock them out, let them listen to it, and boom, it's good to go from there.
Wow, you got a gift, man. A gift. And it is interesting that it was discovered while you were in the service. And being currently in the service, it is like, with the focus being so heavily revolving around the mission, that it can be so difficult for anyone to really discover anything different about themselves or something that they truly love or want to do when it's drilled into your head that it's about the mission. And this is no different than any other workforce, right? Wherever you work at, it's drilled into your head that you have to do the job.
Yeah.
So this is no knock on the military, but it's particularly with the military, because it's a 24/7. Even when you work the 5 days out of the week, those weekend times you're still on contract, so you operate in mission mode at all times. Hey, baby, at all times. It doesn't necessarily matter what the time is. And so I say that because you have found what truly works while you were in. So when you got out, it was like exponentially increased.
Yeah.
With your intensity. Well, another question for you, my good sir. So, how, because I'm asking this not just as a composer, but just as a brand that you represent for yourself. How has it been for you to really rely on social, not that you rely on it, but how has collaborating with social media been for you as in this in this line of work for yourself? Has it proven to be something that, oh my gosh, if I hadn't had social media, I don't know if I would have excelled at this? How helpful was that?
Oh yes, no doubt. Social media helped me out 100%. It helped me out 100%, especially Facebook. That was the last platform I would have ever thought that would help me to be like in the indie community with filmmakers, but it was a blessing. Like I said, it helped me out so much, because once I help one person with their film, it's like a snowball effect. They would pass my name around, and next thing you know, I'll be getting messages in my inbox saying that, hey man, this guy referred me to you. I listened to your music. Hey man, can you make me some tracks for my film? And from there, it just goes on and on and on and on and on, and I connect till I just end up knowing about 20, 30 filmmakers, which comes back to me from time to time with other projects. So it's kind of like a little community, a building on our Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and that's one of the things I tend to encourage is, if people are going to get into any line of work, but especially in this line of work of just being in the entertainment business as we are, right? It will help the person, because the person represents themselves as the brand, regardless if they agree with it or not. And with you recognize that I actually represent something that companies represent in the masses, and that is, people can look at you. Some can view you as an actor, some can view you as a producer, but ultimately they'll come to you as that composer. that he can produce a line of work, and like that. It could take like if someone would ask me, hey, can you make a song for me? Like, uh, that's funny. I don't know if I could do it for you at any time frame, let alone a few days. Produce 4 tracks in 5 days. Not me. But let me give you Marvin's contact, because that's the man for it.
And other thing that I usually put out so it won't be like no miscommunication and no like discrepancies. I usually put out to them, look, when you're coming to me for a soundtrack for a movie, it is usually I mainly produce dark atmospheric tracks or synth tracks for horror film. I usually put that out there. That's my specialty. If you're looking for a hip hop song, a reggae song, if you can make a beat, that might take time. But if you're looking for a horror movie soundtrack or something dark and scary, I could do that for you in a short period of time. So I put that out there.
There it is.
I put that out there because I don't want people to think that like, man, I thought you could have make with. No, I make a specific sound, which for movies, which is horror films, which is atmospheric sound, dark synth sound, 80s sound. That's what I do.
Yes, sir. They were thinking, oh man, maybe he can make me like this track for this romance thriller. I was really hoping for a love scene, like, man, unless that love scene is a slasher up.
Yeah, I make sure I tell them from the go. Look, I'm specializing. That's why you see in my bio on LinkedIn it says composer for horror track for tracks for horror films. I'm a composer that makes horror tracks for indie horror films. Cause I try to put it out there so people could be like,
yes, sir.
Okay, I could go to him if I want something made for a horror film. Yeah, I make it precise. Yeah. There won't be no misunderstanding. Won't be no misunderstanding.
Yes, sir. Yes, no, for sure. For sure. I mean, we're about to hit the month, if not already in the month of October.
Oh, yeah.
Where a lot of your work is about to be viewed again in the masses. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you had more people knocking on your door around this time. I hear my baby boy coming. But okay. But hey, well, I appreciate all the information. Before I let you go, I know that you provide everyone what specifics, but is there a way for people to reach you that you are willing to inform us all right now?
Oh yeah, I got a couple of links people could reach me by. They could reach me by Instagram.com/Nightmistful. They could also reach me out on Twitter at x.com/@M_Maddicks. That's for my X page. And also they could reach me on Facebook, facebook.com/Nightmistful.
How about if they wanted to listen to your work on YouTube? What's your YouTube handle?
Oh, yes. My YouTube will be youtube.com/Nightmistful.
Okay, there it is. I will be certain to link all of your social media handles in the description of this video and the audio recording of this video as well. Wherever anyone listens to their podcasts at, please go into the description of this episode so you can check him out, and you will not be disappointed when you listen to his scores, or also known as music. You won't be disappointed at it, especially if you have a love for it. I especially would recommend going and listening to his stuff in about 2 days, unless you are unless this is October already. Get the imagination going with his work. I'll also link your IMDb into this description as well, just so people can see your credits.
Okay.
And see exactly what you have. So many. It'll be a full episode and listing all of your episode, all of your film, all your works, and talking about each one. That's probably another episode in itself.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Hey, before I let you go, any closing remarks?
Not really, man. I just, to whoever is watching the video, just, man, if you have a dream, you have a goal, man, just keep working at it. Just keep working at it.
That's spoken like a true inspirator, motivator, with a lot of drive, a lot of inspiration. Well, hey, thank you so much. And thank you all for taking the time out of your day to tune into today's episode. Marvin, you've been wonderful, man. Thank you again. The wait is over, and I'm glad that we were finally able to link up, my guy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's all we got for you. You're live with Osiris and Marvin Maddicks Jr. Catch you next time. Take care.
All right.